Shalom and welcome to Zion Flex TV. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and share the live stream. Become a member of Zion Lex TV and unlock several hidden features and hidden videos. Also, you can donate to Zion Lex TV at Cash App $ZionLex or via PayPal at zionlex@gmail.com. We also have...
All right. It's your brother Zion Lex. Sign up for our online academy, which is Learn Torah Hebrew Academy at patreon.com/Learn Torah. There are several classes that we offer. We offer a Biblical Hebrew 101 class for beginners. We have a Biblical Hebrew 102 class for people who are a little bit more advanced. We also have a weekly Torah class. We also have our Patriarchs of the Covenant course, our Matriarchs of the Covenant course, and a bi-weekly rabbinical course. All of these courses can be found on Patreon. Again, that's patreon.com/Learn Torah. You guys were definitely in for it. It's a very invasive class. All of our classes are deeply invasive and very, very meticulous to the T when it comes to understanding the culture, the heritage, and the history of our ancient ancestors. So sign up for Biblical Hebrew at patreon.com/Learn Torah. I am your brother, Zion Lex.
Shalom, family. This is your brother Avdiel Ben Levi, otherwise known as Zion Lex. Go to Amazon and purchase all of my books. Type in my author name, Avdiel Ben Levi, or you can also type in Zion Lex. There you'll find some of my earliest books and my latest works. It was written and engraved. The DNA of Sound, The Star of David Controversy, Ancient Kemet on Trial, Patriarchs of the Covenant, Matriarchs of the Covenant, and my two foremost books that are critically acclaimed on Amazon, and even one has become a bestseller, and that's going to be the Messiah Codex Volume 1 and Messiah Codex Volume 2. So go to Amazon.com today, type in my name, Avdiel Ben Levi, otherwise known as Zion Lex, and there you can purchase all of my books. Peace and shalom, family. All right. Shalom, family. We are back once again. I am joined by my good brother, Nasi Moshe Ben Lewi. We're going to get straight to it. I'm going to say shalom alechem to the family that's watching. I'm going to say shalom lekah to my brother, the Prince, Nasi Moshe Ben Lewi. Shalom. How you doing?
That's it. What's up, man? Thanks for having me once again. And bless everyone in the chat. Shalom to all. Yeah, and then today we're here on a reasoning to where we're speaking about the cantillations of the Hebrew. What are these extra marks? We've learned the Hebrew. We've learned the nechud, the vowels. But we see these extra symbols, and you know what I'm saying, ones are wondering why. A lot of people I speak to a lot don't really know the significance. They're just there. Some don't really know how to go about it. And you know, different traditions, different communities, have their own way of going about it. So today I'm willing to give a kind of a introduction to those aspects of what it is and how it could be useful in one's Hebrew learning.
All right, that's beautiful. That's powerful. And as you know, I have a line of questions for you that's going to set that up perfectly, right? So let's start here at a place that I think everybody will be comfortable starting. So let me ask you a question. How long have you been studying and reading the Bible, the Torah, in its original language of Biblical Hebrew?
I would say now probably over maybe roughly 5 years, 5-6 years, maybe.
Yeah. And I got to say, I've been around a lot of people that say that they know Hebrew and they read Hebrew. But when I heard you at the top of the year, as you came on this channel, and I heard you read and I heard you speak, you sound like someone that has been an experience in the language for well over a decade or maybe even two. So that's kudos to you and your learning. Because I got to tell you, in the experience of learning Hebrew among Yehudim and even Israelites and Jews, a lot of people struggle. Let's be real. It's an ancient language.
Yeah.
For many years, it was a language that virtually wasn't spoken by the masses of the Israelite or what we would call Yehudim, the Jews of the world. So as a result, a lot of things became lost. So when we meet people so acclimated as yourself, it's astonishing. I got to tell you, I've been
Yeah.
reading Hebrew for 3 decades now.
Yeah.
But and I know people who have either just as much time as me, some even more than me, and some a little less, and they don't read and speak like you.
Wow, man. Oh, man. Blessings, man. I give thanks, man. I give thanks. I give thanks.
As we will see, when we get to the reading.
And a part of, I would say, before we even start, within that time frame of me learning Hebrew, what has helped me the most with not only understanding things that are dramatically happening throughout the scripture, but it also caused a lot of remembrance. It caused me to remember a lot more stuff that I was reading, therefore I retained it. And even if I didn't know the definition of a specific word, I would be able to recite it so much that I would eventually go back and look. I'm like, all right, this is stuck in my head. Let me see what's in there. And just like, I mean, in English, we have all these different symbols. We have a comma. We have all these different things. You know what I'm saying? At the basic front of it. With the Hebrew, it's a little bit bigger than that in a sense, because there is some verses in the Torah where specific cantillations don't usually pop up that often. And when they pop up, there is a lot of I would say a lot of commentary that goes around why they appear, but in a musical sense and in a dramatic sense, like in the sense of knowing, of hearing someone speak something with authority, or something that wants to be listened. When Moshe is saying listen out to the people, when he's in the songs, right? The cantillations that start that off, it's kind of indicating like, okay, we need to listen to what's being said right now. So it's not only just you're reading, it kind of puts you in that space as if you are hearing it live in real time.
That's right. I got to get into the tradition because I think that's important in this conversation. Right? So we have in the written text of the Torah that Hashem, the Creator, spoke the universe into existence. Right? We read in Psalm chapter 33, Tehillim, Lamed Gimel, Psalm 33, verse 6. It says, by the word of the Lord were the heavens made, and the host thereof by the breath of his mouth. So from that passage, if it escaped you in Genesis 1 already, from there we learn that speech was the tool of creation, right? Chapter 1 opens, Bereshit bara Elohim et ha-shemayim ve et haaretz, but the creative word is always Vayomer Elohim, and God said, right? So that's important. Right, that we have what we call in what Chazal, the sages of the oral tradition, refer to as the 10 sayings of creation, right? Which are those 10 times that we encounter the phrase Vayomer Elohim, and God spoke. Right? Talk to us before we get to cantillation, most, because we're gonna gradually build. Right, we're gonna do this the right way. Talk to us about the significance of Hebrew as a spoken language, but not just a spoken language, brother, because I know Nasi, Prince, that it goes much further. Talk to us for a moment in your view about the implications of Hebrew as Sefat Beria, the language of creation. Talk to us about that.
Well, one thing I would say about the Hebrew language, which lets us know that it is coming from this source of creation, is that when things were named in Hebrew, is as if this is it's like as though that was a name, the name was like as destiny in a sense. Say the Hebrew word shana, right? Shana for year. When taken down into its in its gematria, we then get a total sum of what would be a year in the cycle. You know what I'm saying, in a sense. So that's just one view of it, to where we could see that this is not just any language that should be played around with. This is a language from creation. It was spoke, it was said, and then things were created. So, like you said, in your reference, in Genesis and Bereshit. So, so to me, this is a very powerful language that when it's spoken, and that's why with even in the cantillations, it's very interesting because there's specific things that are there to emphasize words to invoke a certain overstanding.
That's right.
And the energy.
Right. That's right. As many people who follow, I would say, my work, for instance, know that I lay and stand on the oral tradition. So I'm going to be a bit annoying when I say once again that the sages of our oral tradition, they dictate and they state that the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, they become the tool of creation. They become the primordial stuff of the universe, right? They are, in a sense, the DNA of the universe, right? Because it is the combination of various letters and words, phrases that form the basis of all things that exist, right? There's an area of science known as semantics, where we understand that sound can influence the shape and form of things, and science now bears witness in an area of science known as semantics that sound vibration can actually give rise to matter. It can create matter. That's deep, because years ago a person would be laughed out of a scholastic scientific scene or environment, talking anything that sounds remotely Bible and saying that speech can create. That would be laughable years ago. But modern science posits in semantics, CYMATICS, that sound vibration can actually create, shape, and form matter. There's a specific group of Greeks, circa 500 BCE. They're known as the Pythagoreans. The Pythagoreans were, in the ancient world, a very brilliant people when it came to their understanding of mathematics and science, but mathematics specifically. And the Pythagorean, one of their theorems or one of their theories is that sound or vibration is the basis of all things that exist, so that nothing exists except that it vibrates. That's deep. Because then we understand from a Hebraic perspective that the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, which were spoken through the course of 7 days, they give us the formula for pi, 3.14. When you take the number 22 and you divide it by 7, you have the formula for pi. It measures the circumference of a circle. Pi measures the circumference of that which is cyclical. We talk about the universe, which has no beginning and no end. Its perfect representative is a circle, the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet, the 7 days of creation. We talking science, brother.
See that?
Right? We talking science. So on that note, I want you to bring us up to speed, level up this thing right now. When I say to you, when I ask you, tell us now, you see, people are familiar with various stages of Hebrew, right? People online, they're aware that at a certain stage, there's what we call proto-Sinaitic or proto-Semite, or what some people call pictographic Hebrew. I think virtually everyone is aware of what we refer to as Paleo-Hebrew or Ancient Hebrew. And then the Hebrew we currently use, people say, oh, that's the modern. Even though there's an argument in the Gemara about which script comes first. But I won't go there, but I'll stay. So most people are familiar with the stages and the development of the Hebrew alphabet, right, as a system. However, our community, the Israelite community, is virtually lost, maybe even clueless on the concept of cantillation notes. So I want you to talk to us about, why do you personally think cantillation notes are meaningful towards understanding or even reading Torah? And share with us, if you can, anything that has impacted you as a result of using cantillation marks in your study and in your reading.
Okay. So I will start by saying it's based off said traditions. And the idea of cantillations came around. So before this new form of cantillations, which we'll be looking at, we had the Tiberian cantillations, which is the Tiberian notations, Tiberian cantillations, which the cantillations were a little bit different symbols and they were above. And this was created during in a time where a lot of people might have forgotten, ways to chant, how ones would have chanted. It is said that these were ways how ones would have chanted in the time of the temples, and then after that. But as they become broken off in between different diasporas, people interpret them in a different ways, but still keep the foundational aspects of them. So it is as if you're reading now, you're reading in Torah, and you come up, which we'll have to share the screen eventually, so I'll like kind of show it better.
Yes.
In a sense, but so a way that it impact me within learning is that, I was saying a little bit earlier, is that depending on where some of these notations are giving you a specific stress or an accent on a specific word, right? In different languages, even in African languages, some words are even sang, and if they're not sang or stretched in a certain way, then they're like two different words, right? So they're also not just made to separate words, but made to separate letters, made to highlight specific letters in a word, right? And now when it comes to the actual marks, this is giving emphasis on things in the verse that should be focused on, right? A lot of things that are said a lot of times when it says Wayomer, right? There's a specific notation above it to let you know, like, boom. And then if it follows with the creator's name, it's a certain way of how it's said. Different, like I said, in different traditions, they might use a different tone, a different thing, but it's all within the same understanding. You get to so now you get to like the middle of a sentence. So someone now new to learning Hebrew, and they're jumping back and forth from the English to the Hebrew, and they're trying to figure out where they are in the sentence, because maybe they're trying to equip some vocabulary from what they're reading, right? There's specific quotations to let you know when you are in the middle of a verse, when you are coming up to the closing of the verse, to now when you're going into the ending. And then there's a notation to let you know when the verses end. So we were back in a certain time, we wouldn't know when any pasuk end. We wouldn't know when any chapters, and there wasn't any notations. We don't get that until and I'm saying a later time. So these were ways for us to understand the subject matter, right? How the sentences are structured, right? Before it comes into the musical aspect of the cantillations. So when I was coming into learning Hebrew as someone that sings and plays music, it was like looking at sheet music for the whole Torah. And a way to convey the vibration of how it would have been said if it was spoken, in written form. So it kind of puts you inside of what is actually being said. So that's kind of a way of how it really helped me coming in. And then when it's a fixed melody, one can memorize what's being read, and like I said, retain the information of what's being stated. And there's another key one. There's a few words that are in some verses that always pop up that they're like basically supposed to be said together. They're not supposed to be spaced out. They're kind of like joint words. And then there's cantillations that kind of show us how to basically say those words without spacing them in a way to convey what is being said. So they were put there for the overstanding, being able to understand the sentence structures, especially for people studying Torah and being like, okay, boom, in the middle of this verse, I'm in the middle of this verse, and now you're cross-referencing, you're able to do that. And then from the chanting aspect, you're also able to understand to a degree how it would have been saying from your ancestors at an earlier time.
Right. So I want to add something to this discussion that is a novelty in some sense, because some people may be more familiar with Ashkenazi cantillation and chanting,
Yeah.
right?
Truth.
I think when most people hear biblical Hebrew being chanted from the use of cantillation, they're hearing it from the Ashkenazim, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's important to point out that a person's nusach, right, a person's cultural tradition dictates, that expression. You're going to have nusach sefarad to chant. You're going to have nusach afriki, right,
Yeah.
to chant.
Yeah.
Shout out to, and I got to use the opportunity to do so. Shout out to the chief rabbi, right?
Yes.
Chief rabbi.
Yes, I got my copy too.
Come on, right? We have Nusach Afriki, which allows us to chant in our own tonation, but there's an even older system which our ancestors utilized, which I just mentioned, Nusach Sefarad. So I want to also inform our community that there's more than one way to express the chanting of Torah, because a person's cultural background and upbringing is going to impact not only their view of Torah, but the expression of those views. So there's a way to chant the Torah using what's called Ashkenazi Nusach, or using Sefarad Nusach, or now newly emerging using Nusach Afriki. So going back to the conversation that Hashem spoke the universe into existence, I do remember reading a midrash one day. And the midrash was a midrash to Shir HaShirim, the Song of All Songs, right? The Song of Songs. And in the midrash, it said, not only did Hashem speak the universe into existence, but he sang it.
Sang it, yeah.
And it's this reason why we even have cantillation notes to the reading of the Torah. Remember, it is Hebrew thought and tradition that the Torah is the basis of all things that exist. The Torah is the blueprint, as it were, of creation. So if the Creator utilized the Torah as the blueprint of creation, and we hold by tradition that the Torah should be sung, then ask yourself a question. Is the Midrash getting it right when the Midrash says that not only was the word spoken, but it was sang? Right in the tradition that the Torah needs not only to be spoken, but to be sang. So that's important. So I know that we're going to go in. I'm going to share the screen immediately. I want to remind our family that we do have a 8 p.m. Torah class occurring tonight, right? We have an 8 p.m. Torah class. We were supposed to have it tomorrow night on Tuesday, but we're going to have it tonight. So there's an 8 p.m. Torah class tonight, everyone. Just want to remind and alert everybody. Our biblical Hebrew class is this Friday, and our rabbinical class is this Friday, and our Torah class is tonight. So I'm going to share Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. Would that be a okay place for you to start?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Okay, so I have, as everyone can see, I have Genesis chapter 1, verse 2 blown up, but I want to make sure that it's really big so that the people that can read and recognize Hebrew can perfectly follow along. So take us on this journey, right? We're at the first sentence in Genesis, right? And there's a way that most people would simply read it, and I'll do the honors of that. But then you'll come and not only read it with the cantillation, but then come behind and explain it, right?
Okay.
So normally the verse is read, hallelujah, Bereshit bara Elohim et ha-shemayim ve'et ha'aretz. And I want to say to our community that the way in which I'm reading it is not the way that you're going to read it in a synagogue setting. The cantillation notes tell you where to stress, it tells you where to stop, it tells you where to pause, it tells you what words to accent. So this is why the cantillation notes are so important, because it's in a sense training us in the experience of bringing the emotion from the text. Oftentimes, when people read the Bible, it's God. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody to imagine that just as the movie Lion King was narrated by one of the most powerful voices we have ever heard in human history, James Earl Jones, may his memory be blessed. Think about James Earl Jones reading the first sentence of Genesis. Is it going to sound just in the beginning? God created the heavens and the earth. No,
No.
it's going to have more emotion. It's going to have more tonation. You're going to be brought into the experience of what that is.
Mm-hmm.
In the Torah brings you into the very experience of the things being described live in those moments and at that time. So if you want to enliven the Torah in the way that it was meant to, then you certainly want to pay attention to what Nasi Moshe is about to show. So teach us now.
Man. Man, that was a great. That was the best explanation I've heard, man. For real, because that is what it is within all. And so the cantillation melody form that I'm going to use in this explanation of the Torah is the melody that I utilized, and when I came about learning Hebrew and chanting Hebrew, I utilized, which is of the Temani, is of the Yemenite community, of the way of how they go about reciting the Torah. And it's also the way they cite it in the sense of even when they're studying, because they usually would have the Aramaic right next to the Aramaic verse underneath every verse in the Torah. And one person would read it a specific way, the other person would read the Aramaic in another way. So how we go about reading this first sentence, this first verse would be Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. So that's how it would be read. And since the Temani have a little older tradition, and keeping on that tradition of the Indo-Tiberian pronunciations, and as well as the markers, right, within this first verse, right, the first Bereshit is coming in a sense to where it's like you're almost pausing at Bereshit, right? So it's Bereshit bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Right? For the next verse, right? Well, so this is interesting, right? This is one of the first ones where we see where it's telling you to basically stop at that word.
Yes.
Right? So it's giving you a stop. So you're at to, but you're also raising the to. So you're like to, wavo, wavo, wechoshech. Right, and this is indicating we're in the middle of the verse now.
That's right.
Right, so this is giving us that pause to let us know. So if we were studying, we could refer to the English or to what we were looking at. We could pause right here, like, I have to run. I'll come back and study this at a certain time. Also, to keep in mind this Pacific notation that is underneath, it is as though, I know many people have seen choirs in church and school and different things on that matter, where someone is conducting the choir and the band of how to sing and how to go about the arrangement. It is also said that in the earlier times in the synagogues, which is used some form today, some people still use it, there will be a person chanting the Hebrew. There would be another person making sure that they have it correct, but then there's also another person that is leading them within what words are supposed to be risen, what words are supposed to be paused on. So there'll be someone, like you even see, even in my shul, there's like someone that's like, he's doing only, some people are looking at him like, wait, what is he doing? Only him understand that. But it's like coming from an earlier tradition of like that's how they would have went about it. There would be someone there visibly, so the person that's chanting would be able to see him, because odds are that person might not know it fully. And the whole idea is we want it to sound as proper as possible. We're reading from the scroll, we're in the shul, so it's like a delicate thing. So that's where that idea comes from, right? And that's just within the Torah. So the thing is, there's a way to chant the Torah. There's a way to chant the Haftorah. There's a way to chant the Tehillim. There's also a way to chant the Songs of Songs, and different ways like that depending on the community. So this specific melody is a fixed melody that majority of Temani use and have been using since the beginning. And there is also a way in the Haftorah as well how one is used, and in the Tehillim there's like a whole bunch. So what I want to do is bridge the gap between us and the idea of communities to where what I want to do is, so there, I don't know if I
pause on that thought. Right, and I want you to keep that thought in your mind, maybe even write it down, because I want to develop based on something you also said. You said there's a way to chant the Torah. There's a way to chant the prophets, or i.e. the Haftorah. You know, there's a conversation that occurs, and I know not everybody may follow this, but this is a very diverse community, the Israelite community. You have people who are what we call non-messianic, and we have people who we call messianic, right? So because the community is so diverse, I want to be able to address all facets of the community, all right? So on that basis, I'm going to throw this out there really quick. There's a passage in the New Testament, in the book of Luke, chapter 4, and it says that Yeshua, right, he gets up on the Sabbath and reads from the Haftorah portion of Isaiah chapter 61. This is in the book of Luke, chapter 4, verse 17 through 21. And it has Yeshua reading in the synagogue on the Sabbath day, the Haftorah portion. So let's stop there for a moment and acknowledge some things. When I say to Messianic Israelites that Yeshua would have understood what the oral tradition is and would have abided by much of it, some people don't understand that. And I say to them simple things that a person who is trained to know what the oral tradition is, when you open the New Testament, you can see it here, you can see it there, you can see it there. I can pull up verses and show you it's virtually everywhere. But when you don't know what the oral tradition is, of course, you would have no idea that it has great impact on the very writing of the New Testament. So I say that to draw a point. We're going somewhere with this, right? And then I want you to jump in with what you were going to say. In the New Testament is sources that Yeshua reads from the scroll of Isaiah, which is the Haftorah portion. So that first and foremost shows you that he was following the oral tradition, because it is part and parcel of the oral tradition that after the Torah is read, we read from the book of the prophets, and that's called the Haftorah portion. So the fact that that plays out in the New Testament means that the adherents of the New Testament were following in the tradition of the rabbis and sages. That's important. So I want to really drill the point home now, because if Yeshua was reading from the Haftorah in the synagogue, Moshe, wouldn't he have been chanting it as well?
Yes, yes, he could have been chanting it as well. You can't go up to the Torah and just talk.
You can't. You can't. Not unless you're a Reformed Jew. Not unless you're a conservative Jew. But if you are strict Orthodox and you're called to read the Torah, you're supposed to be able to chant that Torah, or you're not called.
That's it.
They say many are called, but few is chosen. You might have been called to attend the synagogue service, but if you can't chant the Torah, you would not be able to speak. So there's an implication there. Then, if Yeshua read from the scroll of Isaiah, he was certainly able to chant it. So I speak now to the Messianic community towards the need, again, to really listen to our brother Moshe, because he is returning you to the tradition of our ancestors. And the floor is once again yours. I'll have that share screen up again.
So I love that you say that, because The thing is, for me, I love to see what's happening now. You know how we have chief rabbi and we have new South Africa, because a key element of that, people, ones that are like us, ones that are like us, coming from our backgrounds and different aspects of that, music and art and ways of expression through dance and drama is all a part of what makes us who we are. Naturally, even here on the West. So within the New South Africa, Bezrat Hashem, we'll have a certain bridging the gap with the idea of our own melodies, for how we conduct our services, and even just on day to day. As I've heard, Bezrat Hashem, there'll be some commentary if that is so. As I heard, if it's coming from our community, then we would well have some chants coming from our community as well. So I say that to say, a lot of people don't really see themselves within some of these other communities, whether it's the Ashkenazi, the Sephardi, and Themini, all these different names. But right now we have something that we see being brought out into the surface that we need to all align ourselves, organize, and centralize ourselves for, and make sure we're a part of. So yeah. With that being said, is that since there's different in each nusak, there's a different way of how ones go about doing these chants. So what I would like, I don't know if you could post something up for me.
Yes. Anywhere you want me to go.
So okay.
I'll put it up.
So yeah, I'm gonna have you go to Hav Torah. You could go to pretty much. You can go to this week's portion. After that, that's fine. You just need maybe the first few. Two verses from it.
Okay, that's exactly what we'll do. Excellent. So the Haftorah portion for this week is in 1 Samuel 20, 18 through 42. And I have it pulled up, and my share screen is...
Good.
Okay, everybody should be able to see my share screen right now. And let me just blow it up again.
Mm-hmm.
So we are in up to a portion 17 and 18. Okay, 1 Samuel 20 and I think it's 17.
Mm-hmm. It's that one, right? The one you were just at.
So 18 then.
Yeah.
Okay, right here.
All right. So this melody would kind of sound like this. ויאמר לו יהונתן מלכה חודש ונבחרתו כי פקד מושבך ושילתו תרד מאוד ובאתו אל המקום אשר נסתרתו שם ביום המעשה וישבתו אצל האבן העזר.
I want you to stop there. That was absolutely beautiful. Now, I just want the community to know something, right? I've been in a synagogue setting for 3 decades. I've heard people chant and read the Torah for 3 decades. The way that the brother is singing and chanting, everyone that knows how it's supposed to sound, no one would know that he's been doing this for 5 years. He sounds like he's been doing this for 5 decades. He sounds much older than he is. And I think that's a testament to, first and foremost, the spirit that a person brings and the zeal that a person has for Hashem, for the Creator. And I definitely want to give you your kudos and your flowers, my brother.
Man, coming from you, you're a gem to our community, and with Hebrew, with studies and everything. So you're definitely the inspiration in furthering my Hebrew studies. So to hear you say that, that's a good, you know what I mean? That's a blessing. And Baruch Hashem.
Dare I say on this live stream, because one thing about me, I'm gonna say it. I'm some people it's hard to say certain things because of how it may make them look. But I think that that's always an ego issue. And I thank the creator that while everyone struggles with their ego, I thank the creator for those wins that we have over our ego when we're able to fight our ego. So I say to you, my brother, I don't even chant that well.
Oh,
So
man.
you're doing a marvelous job, brother. Marvelous job. And more importantly, a good student always comes from a great teacher. So I just know that whomever you learn with is equally, if not greater. Because again, I've been around people that really, really do this. I've been around Mizrahi Yehudim who, when they go to chant the Torah, they sound like Arabs reading the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard it done on a really, really high level. And the way you just did it, there's really no difference. You're doing it at that high level from where I have heard it at its highest. I've heard it at its highest, and you just matched it. So I definitely want to give you your flowers, man. Continue to do the work that you're doing. You know, maybe we can have you come on. I do a weekly Torah session with Chief Rabbi, but I would love to follow up once a week with you, right, on the same Torah. You know what? I would love to follow up with you and do the half Torah.
Yeah.
How about
that? Let's do that.
So let's do that. Let's do a weekly show, you and I. When we go into the half Torah, you can chant it, and then you can go into a Devar Torah, your explanation, your commentary, and I can meet you and do the same. How does that sound to you?
Let's do it.
Let's make it happen. It's a Red Hashem by His will. Let's make it happen. So let me get a little detail with you now, right? When we talk about the names of various Hebrew cantillation marks, you know, when we're speaking to an Israelite community that is virtually unfamiliar, they've never. Most people in the Israelite community can't identify, and this is unfortunate, but I'm going to be honest. They can't identify the Hebrew vowels. Right, they're like completely unable to say patach, right? They're completely able to know that the e sound is called kirik. You know, they don't know that we have kamatz katan, which is the a where it can be an o, which is why we say chokma and not chakma, right? For wisdom, right? A lot of people in our community can't even make that differentiation. And here's someone like you. And here's someone like me that's able to say, okay, there's also cantillation notes. Cantillation notes, we have a mark that's called etnach or atnach. Siluk. We have munach. We have milka. Right? So I want you to talk to us about...
If you could pull up, if you find it easy on Google. It's if you could type it Te'amim Te'amim Sephardic or Te'amim Edom Mizrahi, just to show them on the screen what you just said.
Okay, so I actually have it up right now. It's an abridged version, and let me reshare my screen and do this. And if we need a larger version, just let me know. I have a smaller version right here that should satisfy exactly what we're trying to do. Can you see?
Oh yeah. So if you could see them right there, and they have a thing. We can use this one, but I'm still have you do the other one because I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell you after. So so I would have you get the chart because I just kind of show the chart itself that kind of just shows the names with them above each other.
Yes.
Type of thing. And then I'll even chant them as well.
All right, you know what? Let me see if I can use.
So they can see the individual one.
I have one from like the Hebrew Teacher's Guide, the Biblia Hebraica Stuttgart Tensia. Let me share that and see if this is sufficient for you. If you like this one, what about this one?
Let's see. Well, this going into. Let me see if I could get up close. Okay, we can work that by. It's not. basically this didn't work, but the one that I was going to show you is kind of like in the, I think I could probably, let me see if I can send it to you quick. But
Okay.
basically what I was going to show is that some of the symbols, just like you were explaining, some of the cantillation, some of them, their names kind of give off their purpose, right?
Yes. Okay.
And not all of them do, but some of them kind of give off their purpose and like what one is and what one isn't. Okay, like something like this. This one's this one's the Ashkenazi, but I could still work it with it. So there's one. Let's see, Marcha. Okay, so yeah, this does it. So it's interesting, right? So this is another thing to take it to note, everybody. So since this one is Nusak, Ashkenazim, the order of how they put them in a specific order to convey a melody that they kind of sing. So even to me, I could read them individually, but to read them cohesively in this kind of order would be like unnatural to like the order of like say the Yemenite or the average Sephardic person. So if you showed like the average Sephardic this version, they'll be able to look at them individually, but it would look like a mixed up melody in a way, right? Just because of that. But that's another thing to take into note because we're showing that how in each community there's different ways of how one to express these specific notes.
I tell you what, give me 1 second. I think because we want to get this right. I think I have what you're looking for. I want to make sure we get this right. So I definitely have one that is Sephardi up right now.
Okay, yeah. This one can work. Yes, this one can definitely work. So, okay, so the first one, that's all right there, right? Zarka, right? Or Zareka, depending on one's emphasis on the Shivia. The note above it is kind of moving like a snake in a certain way, right? And it is showing you that this is kind of running on. The word is running on. In the Sephardic way, it would go something like this. Zareka Makav shofar holek Siegolta Patzer Kadon Telisa Azla Geresh Rabia Shofar Meupach Hadma Zakef Gadon Darga Tevir Marich Tarha Atnach Yetiv Pasek Shalshelet Teretame Shenegereshin Teretame Sof Pasok.
Excellent, brother. Well, let me tell you, man. This is history in the making. I'm going to stop the share screen just for a moment because I really want to highlight something. This is history in the making. You know, this has never been done live in the Israelite community ever.
What? What? See, that's something I was thinking about. I'm wondering where is this? You know,
where is it?
People of rhythm. Where's the music and the melodies and the chants? You know. So.
We're able to go online and type in cantillation marks, and what usually comes up are videos from Ashkenazim, and you may find some Sephardim, right? Rarely, unless someone gives you a link, you might find some Mitzraki, some Middle Eastern Yehudim, Jews. But where is our demonstration?
Where is it? Where is it?
It is to the will of Hashem. that something phenomenal and novel is happening right now, right here in this moment. And I say to our community that once again, by the will of the Creator, we are joined here to do something very special that not only has no one in our community seen or heard from our community, but quite literally we're experiencing it in the now. Right now it's happening. This is not something from yesterday that we're watching a video on. This is not something in the future that we're talking about. It's happening right now in this space on your live. Right? So this is powerful, brother. And you know, if you speak to someone that knows a little bit about biblical Hebrew, they might say, okay, like the sof pasuk at the end of a verse would be the Hebrew equivalent to what we call a period. Right? That's the situation that like we're really stopping right now.
Yeah.
and that's where in the Middle Ages, the English translators, they began to put a first verse behind, second verse behind. They separated verses based on what we call sof pasuk. So that's important to highlight too. So we heard you chant it, and we're going to hear you chant it some more. But I'm also going to take us right back to that page, because apart from chanting it, I want you to explain the symbolism that we're looking at, right? Like the Zarka, right, is this symbol that I'm pointing to with my arrow, right? So as we approach each of the symbols, I want you to delineate for us what the symbol is. Like here, you said it, resembles like a snake. Some people might say an upside down 8, or however people are looking at it.
Yeah.
I want you to identify the symbol. I want you to tell us the name of the symbol, because a lot of people on the live, they don't read Hebrew. Me and you and some others are able to say what it is because we can read Hebrew. Not everyone has that luxury. So this is why Hashem has us here, right? We're able to do it. And this is why I have you here, because you're able to do it on a level, a cut above what I even am able to do. So I want you to not only sing and chant for us, as we're going to certainly hear you do some more, but I want you to explain for us what each symbol represents, its name, its shape, and tell us what is its purpose in the chanting of the text. What is it an indication of? Is it an indication in this respect when we're using Zarka? Are we to bring up our tonation? Are we to pause? Are we to stop? With each one, I want you to tell us what the symbol looks like, what the name of it is, and what the indication of it is. Does that sound good to you?
Oh, yeah, that sounds good.
All right. On that note, I'm going to say to the family, if we can't get your love and your support for this, I don't know what else is going to help to do it. Family, we're going to use the opportunity right now. My good brother, we're going to take a quick commercial break. I'm going to ask our family to thumb up the video and share the live stream. When we be back, our brother will go into teaching mode. Family, this happens with your support. I'm able to bring powerful brothers on like this because of your support. Now, see, while we're taking our commercial break, please do me a favor of putting your Cash App in our back chat, the private chat. That way I can take it and put it on the live for people to see as well.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, family. Thumb up the video, share the live stream, and donate. Show your love, family. Show your love. We have something very, very powerful about to happen. Donate and show your love. We will be right back in a couple of moments with a quick commercial break.
Shalom and welcome to Zion Flex TV. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and share the live stream. Become a member of Zion Lex TV and unlock several hidden features and hidden videos. Also, you can donate to Zion Lex TV at Cash App $ZionLex or via PayPal at zionlex@gmail.com. We also have an online academy entitled Learn Torah Hebrew Academy. Visit us on patreon.com/learntorah. Our gold tier membership gives you unlimited access to our special event lectures and our special live movie nights. Our platinum tier gives you unlimited access to our Torah class, Kabbalah class, Patriarchs and Matriarchs of the Covenant classes, as well as understanding the New Testament via the oral tradition class. Our diamond tier gives you unlimited access to all of the previous tiers, as well as our most sought-after class, our Biblical Hebrew course. And finally, our highest tier. Our Sapphire tier gives you unlimited access to all previous tiers, as well as our highly esteemed rabbinical course. Be sure to sign up today and check your tier membership so as to ensure you're getting access to the classes you desire. Thank you for visiting us here at Zion Lex TV, and now back to our current live stream.
All right. So thank you. All right. So thank you very much, family. We are now about to return to our live. Please show your love to our good brother, everyone, by please donating to him. I'm going to drop his Cash App. I'm going to ask the moderators that throughout the duration of our live stream, can you share the link to his Cash App? Right, that way our people can support him. When we have people that's doing marvelous work on this level, it's almost insane. I'm gonna make my son a little angry right now when I draw for his teenage language. It's nasty work. I can say that. It's nasty work if we're not supporting our community leaders and teachers, man. We gotta support these people that are doing the labor, right? We didn't fund the labor. He funded the labor. But you know what? You take a lot off of his plate by being able to help fund the future labor. So please, family, if you can, show your love, show your support. A thumb up is nice. Sharing the video is nice. But going into your pockets and supporting the leaders and teachers in the community is even better. So please, everyone, show your love. Also, if your heart should so move you, also donate right here, Cash App, $ Zion Lex, here at Zion Lex TV. On that note, Nasi, we're going right back to that share screen to do your. Go ahead, my good brother.
Okay, so first one we're looking at is Zareka, right? This specific cancellation, right? To some people it might like an 8, right? And some people infinity sign. To me, I represent kind of a snake-like move, indicating that something is moving at a pace that is going and down, right? And it's moving along the way. So this is a tonation of the word of something moving. So if this was over saying any word as you were reading, you would be carrying that word, right? Interestingly enough, the one that comes right after that, it is a dash. Not a lot of people look at it as a cantillation mark, but it's also in another notation because this is there to join these two words together. So
That's
no
right.
one makes the mistake of pausing right at Markov.
That's right. I wanted to also just jump in and say, when we see the Makav, some people pronounce it Markave. It usually has the grammatic function of joining words, making them like a phrase, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's an indication of these words being compounded, right? We're speaking them like it's one, like there's no pause. We're saying it like it's one straight word.
Going.
Right. All right.
Yeah, feel free, as you know, as your Hebrew vocabulary comes out, feel free to highlight any of these as I explain them.
Okay.
All right. And as well now, so Olek is not necessarily, it's not a pause, it is you moving along, right? But within Olek is already kind of telling you what is happening in the notation, right? Something is along, right? So this thing along. So with the next one we have Segota, right? And these are, which kind of looks like the Segol, right?
Right, just upside down.
Right there, right? So but that being on top of the phrase in the Sephardic culture, that usually gets paused. In the Temani culture, that is also used as something as raising up, as something being risen up. So it depends. So some of these interpretations are depending on the different communities and how they interpret how it goes up and goes down.
That's right.
Right. And then Paser Gadol, or Pazir Jadol, right? That this now is something is going up. So you're not just really moving, you're kind of going up and coming back down to a pause. So if this was back in the times where people were really utilizing these things physically with their hands, they would probably be making a symbol similar to this, which is showing that something's being risen up. Every time someone comes on this Torah portion, a lot that I see, someone raises their hand up, right? Gadol, right? So someone raises their hand up, and it's kind of like elongating it. This term, it's Gadol, right? It's a I like to look at the symbol. What makes it easy for me is I like to look at how the direction of how symbols are flowing, because yet again it comes from a physical movement to over time it was written into these symbols. So it all started with someone physically moving in front of someone while they were actually chanting. So I like to look at it that way. It's an easier way to learn it, right? Just like the next one that's coming up, right? Talisa, right? This would be representing something going around in a circle, and it's continual spiral and spiral and spiral until it just keeps going, right? So this is something that a lot of people play with, where it can continue, right? It can be something that continues. That's why it kind of looks like a circle with a little line down from it, right? So that's for that one, right? And then we have Azla, right? Gerish, right? So Azla, right? It looks like there's this comma that's above. It's kind of above the word, right? And it's showing it going in the direction to the next word, right? But it's raising up and then going and coming down. So it would be Azla Gerish, right? Like, so you're just coming back down, right? So
Sorry
the
about that.
symbols above is showing something coming up, and it's gradually taking its way back down into the heart.
My apologies, Nasi. I had to step away for a moment. My apologies, because you're in the middle of a demonstration. I definitely like to give people their respect, so I want to definitely apologize. Thank you very much. But I want to also ask you to do something, right? So just for clarity, because to me, and I know you feel the same way because you're a real teacher, right? To me, this is only important as a person's ability to follow.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
This is only as important as a person's ability to follow. Thank you so much, Nasi. Nasi Ariel says, I'm glad that you're back, Rob. It's a blessing seeing you doing the Lord's work. Thank you very much. We are back. We are back. We are back. He's speaking about you, by the way, Nasi.
Oh, wow.
Back. You were definitely missed on the channel. I replayed your video.
Missed you guys as well, man. You know.
Yeah, I just replayed your video this past Shabbat, and my email was ringing crazy, man. So it's a good thing that you and I connected. You didn't even know that my email was going crazy, but people were immediately saying to me, when are we gonna have this brother back on?
See, and then we come in next to work. Most time works and align things, right? Derech Hashem, we're in the walk of Hashem, and see, here we are together again.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So here's what I would ask you to do. So you explain Zaka, you explain Makev Shofar, you explain Holed, you explain Segolta, but I want you now to reread it so that when they replay the live stream, not only were they able to hear you say what the name is, explain what the function is, but they're now able to immediately come back and say, aha, and that's why he read it that way. Right. So if you can, I would like for you to do it like that, if that's okay with you. I want you to explain, and then I want you to point it out, like point out what you're looking at, explain the symbol, explain the function, and then read it so that people are able to follow in that way.
Okay. So since I did the first the first line, I'm gonna just say the first line in one. Okay. Zareka Makav Shofar Olech Segolta Pasir Gadol. Right, we came here to the, and I explained this one coming up on here. So if one's can identify the symbol that is on top of the samek, right? It is a O, right? It's like an O. It's kind of like an O with a line pointing out on it, and it's going down on the letter. I like to look at these things in a picture form, and it causes better understanding. So so it's moving in a circle, right? So this is something continue. So it would sound something like right. Just keep it's an ongoing thing moving, right? The next one that we have coming up, we have Azla, right? Gerish, right? And the way how the cantillations are formed in this, we have what looks like a meeting happening. So we have as La is being carried over to Gerish, right? So it would sound something like as La Gerish. Would be as though it's being risen up and being brought back down, right? Rabia, or right, Ravia, right? It's like a diamond, right? Ravia is something it's going up and going up and then comes to like kind of like a, right? So it's Ravia, right? So he's saying like that, right? Depending on the person's unit, they'll elongate it. It could be short as long as it's so. It doesn't have to fully be extended to the extent of how I'm extending the words, but to that extent that those words are being emphasized and in that way, right? So we have shofar, right? We have shofar. Shofar has this symbol to where shofar is going directly into the next word usually, right? So it would be red. It would just be running on to the next. It seems like when you get to that symbol, right? And then you have kadma, right? Kadma is, since it's just one by itself, it's kind of pausing, right? It's going to be a pause, but you're emphasizing that last letter. You're emphasizing that last letter, right? That's going to be a pause. You're emphasizing it. Right? Now you have katon, right? So zakef katon, and then you got zakef gadol. So what this is telling us is we have a shorter version and you have a smaller version and a bigger version, right? Of these two ways of how to say this, right? So it would be zakef gaton, zakef gadol. So they're separated, right? We could see there's two dots at the top, which looks like the Shavia, sort of, right, on top of the top of this letter. And then we have what looks similar on Gadol, right? But there's a line next to it, right? So this is separating a smaller emphasis and a larger emphasis, right? So that's why they look similar, because they're kind of working off of each other, but one of them is extended longer. Right? So yeah. So sometimes, depending on who's reading, it might sound very similar. Only certain people really show the separation, which they should show the separation between those two. Right?
Very good.
And then you have dar. All right, you have darga, right, or darjo, right? Depending on one's pronunciation. I've been across in many communities, so I'm able to go back and forth just to make sure that the audience understands, kind of what I'm saying, depending on the pronunciation.
Yes. If I may add something, I just want to say this for the audience viewers. the symbols for what he's describing, if you're unable to know what that is because you're not familiar with reading biblical Hebrew, if you look at my arrow will be pointing at the symbols that he's talking about. All right. So as he's demonstrating each one, I'm going to go to each word that he's reading, and I'm going to also highlight the symbols that he's talking about. All right. So I want the audience to follow my arrow. My arrow will be an indication of what the symbol for that particular cantillation note looks like. I'm sorry, Nasi. I just wanted to make sure that they're able to follow everything.
Good. So the one we're coming up to now, right, is Darga, right? And the symbol that is it, it's kind of like a zigzag looking situation, like a snake in a sense, depending on how you view it, right? And it's showing as though the that letter is actually going down. It's a downward, so the melody would go downward. So it would be Darga, right? It will be like you're going down versus other ones, as you've heard so far, have been really risen up or have been moving along. So there is a time to go high, there's a time to go low, and there's a time to just keep moving. As they say, as I've heard from many teachers of the Te'amim, so of the cantillations. So so the next one is Tetevir, right? This now, it's showing that something is, it's this symbol, it's showing that something is moving. It's supposed to be moving, being carried along, but there's a dot inside of it, which is letting us know that we should hold on to it a little bit longer. It might be hard for some to understand, but if you were studying this, it would make sense over time. But we're just going through kind of wants to get a familiar of what these symbols look like and a way of how they would be pronounced and how, and ways to really identify them, even by just looking at how the symbols look. You can kind of tell you in a way of how you're going to go about chanting them. Right? So we have Ma'arich, right? This is moving along. Ma'arich, Tarha, right? So we have move in and come to a pause. We have something sailing this way, but then being pulled back this way, like a seesaw in a sense. If this was a whole sentence and it kept being read, you would constantly be moving back and forth. It would feel as though that the words are being moved forward, but then also coming to a slight hold, right? Then you have Atanah.
If you look at the symbols, everyone, my apologies. If you look at the symbols, when he says it resembles a seesaw, everyone, you literally can see that in the symbols. You literally can see it. If you follow my arrow, everyone, again, use my arrow as a point of reference, you can literally see the seesaw in motion. My apologies, Nasi.
Oh, no, man. You can start anytime. So I want you to highlight something that you said earlier on the next one we have coming up right now. We have Atnach, right? The Atnach. And this is a symbol that ones would have probably did this in the shul, and this would have indicated to some people a comma, to some people a pause in the sentence, a cutoff point in the sentence. Either depending on the community, regardless, it's whether it's extended or not, it's coming to a sudden pause, and before it moves along.
That's right.
I heard you. Was this the one that you mentioned earlier?
Yes, that we spoke of. Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure I highlighted that one. Okay. So next one, right, which is like a V slanted to the side, so it's like an arrow, right? And this arrow is legitimately telling you exactly what you're doing. You're going to be moving towards it. It's Yetiv, like it's just going Yetiv, like it's probably one of the fastest ones that we have. It just moves. It moves along, right? And then you have Pasek. Pasek is like a line being drawn now, right? Pasek, right? There's a line right in between right there, right? There's like a line now being drawn between what's being said, right? Next one is very interesting, right? Because depending on the community, it can sound very harsh in the throat, or it can kind of swirl up and down, right? So how I learned it was shalashilet, right? Like that, the back of your throat, shalashilet. Other people do shalashilet in those other communities, right? Ashkenazim, other communities, they kind of do something like that, shalashilet, something like that, right? But that's how that melody of this specific one is gonna go, right?
Excellent.
So we're on the last line down here where it's right. So it says terekademim. So this one is interesting, right? Because just like up top, we've seen what looks like this. We've seen a symbol like this before up top at the kadema, right? The kadema, yeah, right up there. Yeah, thanks. Right there, we've seen that by itself, right? And it kind of paused, but it was emphasized. It was emphasizing that last letter. So this one is going to emphasize the letter, but also keep moving, right? That's why there's two of them, right? So now he has a helper to help him move along, right? That's a way that one can remember it, right? Tereka de mi, tereka de mi, right? So tereka, right? The ka is being emphasized, de mi, and then you're moving along with the mi, right? So that's why there's two of them versus the one at the top at the screen. That's why they're different, is because now since there's two of them in a word, one of them functions as one thing and the other moves the sentence along, or the word along, right? So now we have another double symbol, and now they're close to each other, so they're pretty much focused on this specific area in the word, right? So it's Shenegereshin, right? Shenegereshin, and the sheen is being really emphasized, right? So there's two of them to show that this we can really hold on to, right? Shenegereshin, right? There's both of them. So it's on and a symbol for them would be two fingers, as I've seen, moving along very fastly to show that it's a vibrating thing that's constantly moving upward, right? We have teretame, right? Just like the marik, which is at the second line, right? The marik, which has this comma, there's like a double. They're double and they're close to each other now, right? So it's keep moving along, but you can kind of have the words move, the word at the end right here move along a little faster, right? So teretame, like you can see that based off how I'm saying it, like it's moving along, right? And it's gonna go into the next phrase, right? Before you hear a pause, right? Now the last one we have sof pasuk, which the Rav brought out earlier in our discussion, where we see how this developed and other traditions, used it and created what we have today with the different verses and stuff like that, because we didn't have that didn't exist in an earlier time. So Rob, if you want to expound on that a little bit, we could do that.
Absolutely. So this is so beautiful, it's so inspirational, and it's so imperatively important and foundational for our community, because I think that not only does it give us a greater glimpse of the Hebrew language and the reading of the text, but it gives us a feel for the day-to-day life of our ancestors. They say that whenever something is sung, two things are occurring. We sing in part because singing either brings out joy or singing either brings out grief, right? So those are if singing could be synthesized to two polarities alone, then that would be it. It would be joy and would be the expression of grief, which are polar opposites, right? But then we also know, especially from an early school setting, that when people are singing something, it's usually because they're trying to remember something, right? So when we were in grade school, the things that you remember through singing it in song. It's something that happens in your brain. Your brain processes information on a greater level when you remember it as a song versus just saying it, right? Which is why I remember I'm of a Caribbean background, and I'm also a very older age, but I'm running around the house singing Tiger, I'm singing Peter Metro, I'm singing Shabba, my favorite dancehall artist. My mother would say to me, "Oh, you better sing that schoolwork like Shabba."
Yeah.
Right? You remember them days, right? Come on. You know, every Ninja Man song, right?
Yeah.
Schoolwork.
Go do that.
I'm in that one. Yeah, all right. You better know your schoolwork.
Yeah, and you better be able to sing that word.
Man. So I say in this moment that I want our community to not just understand that this demonstration is not simply about reacclimating us with the tradition of how the Torah is to be read. It's reacclimating us with the very tradition and culture of our ancestors. It's bringing us into the thinking of our ancestors. It's bringing us into the cultural experience of our ancestors by being able to reintroduce and reacclimate ourselves with this tradition. We are bringing ourselves into the time and era of our ancestors.
Exactly.
And that's essentially what the writing of the Torah was made to do, was to take us back to that time. There's a reason why the Masoretes decided that if we don't preserve the way in which the Torah is to be read, then this thing is going to be forgotten. So there must be a system that we are able to design to ensure that people will never forget how the Torah is not only read, but also how it's said. Because the same tradition that teaches us how to read the Torah is the same tradition that teaches us how to sing the Torah. It's in the works of the sages that we're able to see, and I want this to resonate in a way that people can touch it. So if nothing I said or we said before makes any sense, I want everybody to take this pill, and I want you to digest or swallow it when I say it. Every single Bible in the world is based on what we call the Masoretic text. Every single Bible. I'm holding up here. This just came now. My son just actually brought this from the mail. I'm holding up Biblia Hebraica Stuttgart Pencil. Right? This is like the teacher's manual on Masoretic. When you want to get serious with the Masoretic text, you want to make sure you have one of these, right? So every single Bible in the world, whether it's all English, all French, all Greek, all of them are based on this, the original Masoretic text, which means every Bible that everyone is reading is based on the oral tradition and its teaching of how to read and interpret the Bible. Nasi, Moshe, I'm not sure if your camera, there you go, your camera paused for a while. I want to make sure you're following too.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
So this is important, everybody. Please follow. Every single Bible in the world is based on the Masoretic tradition. The Masoretic tradition, literally, its name, Mesorah, it comes from the Mesorah, the oral tradition, right? So when we read in the Bible in English, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Newsflash, everyone. That interpretation is based on the Masoretic vocalization, what we call the Tiberian vocalization system. When you change vocalization in the Hebrew language, you change and alter the meaning of the text. So if people are walking around saying, "Oh, I don't follow the oral tradition," now I hate to tell you, you also don't follow the Bible. Just to read it requires the knowledge of the oral tradition. Come on, Nasi, you know this.
There's no way around it. There's no way.
If you don't read it as Bereshit bara Elohim et hashemayim ve et haaretz, then it does not mean in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. That meaning comes from that vocalization. You change the vocalization, you have altered and changed the meaning.
Yeah, the whole meaning has changed now.
Everything
Right?
has changed. The word bereshit, vocalized differently, can mean something very different. The word bara, vocalized differently,
Yeah.
can not only not mean create, but it can just refer to the creator.
Yeah. At the same time, and then you have even another thing. You have the big dispute in Gomorrah where you have the idea of the milk and the meat.
Come
Right?
on.
But you have the
Halal,
word, you have
halal.
that exact word, exactly. You have
Which
that
one is
exact
it?
word, which depending on who looks at it, you know what I'm saying, with whatever pronunciation, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
you're saying two different things, which can convey, as we see, it's been disputed about for some time. So, yeah, so that's another way
Right.
as well, you know?
That's right. In Hebrew, we have the creator who is Malkeinu. He's our king. The singular form is Melech. Okay, but when I want to say angel, that's Malak.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm into idolatry, I follow a god called Molech. That's all the same spelling in Hebrew. Malak, Melech, Malak, Melech, Molech. All
Molech.
spell the same in Hebrew.
Yeah.
But the vocalization changed the meaning.
Change the meaning. Exactly.
We read and to people who say, it doesn't matter, tomato. You see, tomato is only relevant in an English discussion. Whether I say tomato or you say tomato is completely irrelevant in English. In Hebrew, that's very relevant. As Moshe mentioned, we have a Torah-based injunction that says, you shall not boil a kid in his mother's milk. But that would only be true based on a person's vocalization. Because you have Kalev and you have Kalev. Which one is it?
Which one is it?
About milk, or are we talking about fat? Because they're the exact same spelling.
Exactly.
So when people say tonation don't matter, I already know that, number one, they didn't formally read Hebrew. And number two, I know that they haven't really studied the Torah, because tonation is everything in the language.
Yeah.
You can completely abuse the interpretation of a text if you're not pronouncing it accurately. What I say to people,
easily.
I'm not trying to be mean to people. When I say to Israelites, shalom, and not shalom. Shalom is peace. Shalom is another language.
Exactly.
That is not Hebrew.
That's not Hebrew.
It is not Hebrew. I don't care who told you it's Hebrew. It's not Hebrew. You could bring your best Hebrew teachers right here and have them come here saying that. And we're going to give them a real quick elementary test on Hebrew that even a child should be able to pass. And I can tell you this. Anybody saying Shalom, Pat will fail that test because they don't know Hebrew.
That's
and
it.
I say that respectfully.
Yeah. No, that's a realist. It's not even Aramaic to where things have
It's
more.
not even Aramaic.
It's
Our sister language.
Yeah.
You know, you go into the cousin language, Arabic. They're not saying it.
No. And Amharic either. No.
It cannot be found. You know, it cannot be found. So
it doesn't exist.
I want to say that what you're doing, what we're doing, what Hashem is willing, what the Creator is allowing to happen is a novelty right now. No one has ever done this in an Israelite setting in a public platform, ever.
Wow, man.
So I don't know why the Creator is using us, good brother, but we are certainly being used, and we have to be powerful in this moment, and we have to be responsible in this moment to treat the information with a lot of care, because oftentimes they say first impressions is everything. First impression is everything. You could have a first impression of someone that's bad, and it completely turns you off to that person or that thing.
Yeah.
So we have to be very poignant in this moment to really, really speak to the words, the truth of this. So I'm going to open back up 1 Samuel and have you read a couple of more. And then we're going to bring this to the close and have you come back on at another time and do some more stuff because there's a lot.
We'll do one Tehillim because we didn't touch Tehillim. We'll do one Psalm just because maybe people, more people look at Psalms.
Excellent. So I have it pulled up already in the backdrop. You just tell me which Psalm you want up.
121. 121.
All right. And let me do this live as the people are able to see, because I just want to also say something. So sometimes in the Israelite community, people hear Gematria and they're like, oh, who told you Hebrew letters and numbers? The people who read Hebrew. Because if someone hands you an entirely Hebrew Tanakh with no English whatsoever, and they say, open it to the book of Tehillim and open to the 121st Psalm. How are you going to find the 121st Psalm when there's no English characters in here whatsoever? There's no English numerals in here whatsoever. Which one of these is 121 if you don't know that Hebrew letters also function as numbers? So here we go.
Kufka. There we go.
All right. All right, Nasi, it's on you again. I just want to make sure that the screen is showing it. Yep, it's on the screen. Yeah. And I want to take a moment to shout out the people in the chat. Nasi Ariel says Psalms 121 is a great one too. Glad that we go in here.
That's it. All right, let's do it.
All right. Someone says More Truth says, I've been waiting for someone to talk about this and tell them this. Thank you very much.
Hashem, man. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Our sister Moshe, she been hard in the live stream. She been on it. I can't even highlight everything she's saying because she's saying a whole bunch. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and find some of the things that she's saying, because one thing about her, she will always show support to those that she knows handles the information with care. And I want to tell you, Nasi Moshe, it's to your honor that she's here, because she doesn't always pop up. When she pops up is because she especially has care and love for a particular speaker or teacher. So it's in your honor that she's even here right now.
Toda, sister. You know, family, one family.
One family. All right. So with that being said, Nasi, once again, it is on you, good brother. We're in Psalms 121, verse 1. Teach us.
So before I go into it, for ones that would read this after they see this or read this in their own time in the English, I'm just going to point out one more thing before I go into in the chant, right? There's the Atanach that I spoke about that's in the middle of the first verse right here. When reading it in the English, in your English, you will probably get a comma at this word. For your learning purposes, if you are cross-referencing, like reading the Hebrew like this while going back to the English, to help with vocabulary and figuring out, this could be any word, where a comma would most likely, in most English translations, will be next to that word where you have the atnach, right? Where it looks like a arrow being pointed upward, right there. Okay. Now I'll start. Shilamala tesaina elarim me'ain yava ezri me'imadonoi ose shomaim warat alite lamot roglacho Al Yanun Shomerako Inelo Yanun Welo Ishon Shomer Israel Adonai Shomerako Adonai Zilecho Al Yad Yemineko Yom HaShemesh Lo Yakeko ויורך בלילה אדוני ישמרך מקורו ישמור את נפשך Adonai Yishmo Zeitako Uvoecho Me'ado E'adolam.
Come on, family. Come on. If I don't see this chat room light up with fire emojis, I might not be going live again. I'm telling you, I might not be going live again. Family, show your love. Let me tell y'all something. 3 decades. You know, people like me that have a lot of experience of being in the community, a lot of age, whether we acknowledge it or not, sometimes when we say things, it comes across as braggadocious. Let's just be real. Oh, I've been in the Israelite community 3 decades. Yeah, but I've only been there 5. So what you saying? I've been there much longer than you. Okay, so if you're in an environment longer, the real question is, what have you built? So I always say to people, while we will show respect to our elders that have experience and have been in the community for a long time, the thing that even brings the elders, I'm pointing to myself right now, to a place of humility is to ask a simple question. Okay, you've been here 10 years, what did you start? What did you build? What did you do? 20 years? What did you start? What did you build? What did you do? 30 years? Whoa, you must have did a lot. You built a lot. You did a, what did you do? Those people don't have answers. Well, he's just an old man that's been around, but he did much. But I can tell you guys this. There's a young brother that has not been around 30 years, but you can hear he has done much. We speak about building things that are tangible, edifices. They say that women love a man that's handy, a man that can build, a man that can work with his hands. But let me also tell you, brothers and sisters, what women also love. They love a man that can intellectually build a thing. They love a man that can take the immaterial culture and curate it and bring it in an environment and cause our seed to spring up. Children from the knowledge. We got to support brothers like this. This was absolutely amazing. Dare I say, this is top 5 of all the shows I've ever done since I've signed on.
Oh, man, Baruch Hashem, man.
I don't know how people are written what they want to see, but for me personally, this is top 5. Top 5.
Oh, for real, man. I feel like we have to, you know, as like I said, ones of art and music, we have paved the way for a lot of things with sound and vibration, how it is, no matter the background of anyone that is seeing this in the community, anyone of melanin, anyone, we know we come in from a line of rhythm and music, and it conveying to its culture and it being a preservation of the culture. You know, we even have throughout the whole West Africa and going into the Sahel, where we have people that were in charge of going around with instruments to tell the history and the stories of the ancestors to the people, to keep them informed and educated and also uplifted. So, you know, so what we can do is you know, do our part to where we can carry that on, right? Vador, it's from generation to generation. And, you know, that's what I'm looking forward to. So I give thanks to be able to share this information ones and ones, have the ears to listen. And this won't be the last one. You know, we'll be doing more like this.
With Hashem, we should capitalize on what we spoke on.
Yeah, we're definitely doing that. We
can agree to the time and day, and we can do the off-tour portion. I think that would be powerful, bro.
That's it.
I'd love to connect with you on that level too.
Yeah, we got to definitely do that. And before we close out, since I've just showcasted majority of this Temani, right, Yemenite mixed with a little bit of the African flavors, right? Want to do the last psalm in the Tehillim, right? And just because we were speaking of singing, music, and things down that matter, and I'm gonna do it in a singing style that we do in my my Sephardic shul, which is a Edo Mizrahi North African experience. Majority of the congregants there are from Morocco and places like that. You know, majority of them. I do believe there's only one like a European, I would say, of a background that like comes there that isn't from like a country in Africa or a country in the Middle East. So there's a beautiful way that we sing this psalm every Shabbat, and we all sing it together in unison. So I want to share a little piece of my community to ones and ones that are on line of how this last Tehillim right here would be chanted, which is 150.
Hold on one moment, because I don't even see 150 on my screen. That's weird. I don't see 150 up here. Let me see.
Maybe was it Kof Nun?
Yeah, I don't. Let me go right back. And let me just check. Yeah, it's not. Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Okay, boom. Yeah, I didn't see it at first, or it looked weird first time.
All right.
Okay. So this melody will go like this. We sing this every Shabbat and even sometimes on the weekdays, but this is where not only the Chazan, we all sing together. I know a lot of people have experienced Ashkenazi shuls where it's more of the cantor is just doing his thing and people are kind of whispering or everyone's kind of silent. But in a Sephardic, Yemenite, African experience, a lot of things are being said cohesively as long as you're not overpowering the head of the head of the chant. So this chant will go like this. Hallelujah, Hallelujah, Bekacho, Hallelujah, Birki Auzo, Hallelujah, Bihigurota, Hallelujah, Kerem Gedelo, Hallelujah, Bete Kashofa, Hallelujah, Benevel Wechinor, Hallelujah, Betof Umachol, Hallelujah, Beminim We'ugof, Hallelujah, Vetzisele Shama, Hallelujah, Vetzisele Teruah, Kol HaNeshama Tehalel Hallelujah, Kol HaNeshama Tehalel Hallelujah.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing, good brother. Absolutely amazing. This has been a moment for me, and I want to say also for our community. And this is one more reason for us to have hope in our future, to know that just when we think that there could be no way, the Creator will make a way. Just when we think that it's not going to happen, it's going to happen. Just when we think that there's nobody left, there's people that's here, that's called, that's chosen. Thank you, good brother. I want to also bring to the people's attention that you're an artist, that you perform music. You have a very powerful and interesting ethnic background. You're Jamaican, you're Sephardic, and now live here in the Americas, right? You didn't know that I would ask you to do this, but with your musical background, I don't know how I could not ask you to do it.
Okay.
Closing us out with any musical instrument of your choice.
Okay.
Doing a song for us live.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, take your time. In the meantime, I'm going to have a quick commercial break to allow you to grab your music. And family, show your love, thumb up the video, share the live stream, donate to Nasi Moshe. It's on the screen. You should be able to see it. There it goes, Nasi Moshe Halevi. Donate, show your love. We will be right back in 60 seconds or less with our brother closing us out with a live performance exclusive for Zion Lex TV. We'll be right back, family.
Shalom and welcome to Zion Flex TV. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and share the live stream. Become a member of Zion Lex TV and unlock several hidden features and hidden videos. Also, you can donate to Zion Lex TV at Cash App $Zion Lex or via PayPal at zionlex@gmail.com. We also have an online academy entitled Learn Torah Hebrew Academy. Visit us on patreon.com/learntorah. Our Gold tier membership gives you unlimited access to our special event lectures and our special live movie nights. Our Platinum tier gives you unlimited access to our Torah class, Kabbalah class, Patriarchs and Matriarchs of the Covenant classes, as well as understanding the New Testament via the Oral Tradition class. Our Diamond tier gives you unlimited access to all of the previous tiers, as well as our most sought-after class, our Biblical Hebrew course. And finally, our highest tier, our Sapphire tier, gives you unlimited access to all previous tiers, as well as our highly esteemed rabbinical course. Be sure to sign up today and check your tier membership so as to ensure you're getting access to the classes you desire. Thank you for visiting us here at Zion Lex TV, and now back to our current live stream.
All right, family, we are joined once again by our good brother Nasi Moshe Lewi. And I got to tell you, it's been an amazing live stream. For those of you who missed it, make sure you catch the replay by going back when this video is over and watching the replay. Our brother is going to close us out with a nice small performance exclusively for us. It's on you, Nasi.
So my part tune is being a little weird, so I'm going to do a full a cappella tune called Holding Firm. I feel like in this time, ones need to hold firm, not just the ones who leave, but hold firm to themselves, knowing who they are in this time. And this song, ironically, I wrote around, I'd say, like the pre-COVID era. And what I see based off what I spoke about in the lyrics is kind of happening right now, based on the wars and stuff that's happening. So I'll share this tune. So this a different time, I say. Man, I walk on back to future, I find them way. Some get caught up like dogs and half of them stray. So we said that we no have no time to play. Cause in this time, yeah, so much of them feeble. In this state of crime, yeah, so much of them evil. So we have to work and hustle with the team too. Lost so much friends now who crash up in a vehicle. Just lead by example. Even if you're not ready, please just give them a sample. None of them can hold for me and like no bangle. If you know the ropes, man, you don't get tangled now. I say just pre-life. From this your angle, just seek life. Don't you get tangled, don't skydive. Just reach higher heights, no bother with the fuss and the fight. I say just pre-life. From this your life. Don't you get tangled, don't skydive. Just reach higher heights, no bother with the fuss and the fight, yeah. Say, well, affirm meditation, spread peace in thy nation. Play high up on your radio station. These words, it was written from creation, creating your faith with no hesitation. So check the real situation, stay calm like the tame ones. Of the higher elevation, so elevate your senses and dig yourself out the trenches. Because we now go get fenced in. So I know, said the fire keep blazing up. Some of them add some coal. Yeah.
Listen. I might have to go on tour with you.
Yeah, man.
I might have to go on tour with you.
We gonna have to.
For real. We might have to crash Cartel concert December 31st.
For real.
Listen, much love to you, man. You are multi-talented, multi-inspirational. The hand of Hashem, the hand of the Creator is fully upon you, my brother. Fully upon you. And you are amazing, man. You know, when I speak of a person's character and a person's merit, you know, I try to be as candid as possible. If I don't feel the need to say anything, I won't say anything. So when I say something, I always mean it, man. You are a remarkable good brother, and it's an honor that the Creator is using me to shine a light on you. It's an honor. It's an honor, man. I can't wait till we connect once again.
If we can, we're gonna set up exactly what we spoke about. We're gonna make it happen.
Definitely. If you can you put your link to your social media and your YouTube page?
Okay.
Right. The community wants to make sure that they're able to find you on YouTube.
Okay. Let me.
And for those people that want to connect with you personally, sisters, go easy on him. Brothers, don't beat down his inbox. But for those people that want to connect with him on social media, you could share it there too. And we definitely will need to know your YouTube channel.
I'm gonna put that right in the. I'm gonna put it in the back chat, and then I'll have you share it over.
Excellent. I want to thank everybody that came out. Thank all of our moderators. Thank everyone that viewed this live. We appreciate you. Shout out to those of you who showed your support, your financial support to what we're doing here. Appreciate that as well. I'm going to take the link to his YouTube channel and I'm going to put it in our chat right now. Please do.
Social as well as
and his social. I'm going to ask the moderators, please, moderators, take the link to his YouTube and take the link to his social media and do post that again and again right in this live stream. Nasi Moshe, it was an honor having you. As I always do, I give the honor of closing out the live stream to my guest of honor. So could you please do us the solid closing us out with any powerful or inspirational words of your choice?
Hi, everybody. So what I wants to get from this, even if you don't fully understand the idea of the cantillation, which we're speaking of, right? Specifically speaking to the I and the item from our base of community, right? Part of regaining our culture and what was once lost that is now found, a part of that is very instilled within the idea of how we go about pronouncing the Hebrew, as well as how we go about vocalizing them. And coming from people that are known to have given the world all different kinds of genres of music and sound and inspired on such a vast level, I feel like a big missing piece in our return back is to connect with the idea of chant through prayer. And for ones that are learning Hebrew from the early stages, this could be a tool for you to understand where you are when you are reading through the Torah. So I want to just say to everyone, continue to study, continue to be great, and more blessings, more tefillah for you and all your families. Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. Thank you very much, my good brother. We will be in contact behind the scenes. I say shalom lakah to you, and until we meet again, shalom.
Shalom.
All right. And to our family, I want to say, once again, here we are, man. We're making history. To those of you who support the work that we do here at Zion Lex TV, I do appreciate you greatly. To those of you who haven't had an opportunity to support us because this is your first time, the best way to show support is right now. You can thumb up the video. You can share the live stream, right? You can comment. You can take this link and post it and plaster it all over your social media. You can donate at $ Zion Lex at Cash App or $ Learn Torah at Cash App. You can also donate at PayPal. There's also a border at the very bottom of the screen that is showing you how you can donate. You can also Zelle at 347-691-6980. Please, everyone, please, even the people who are not watching this live, dig deep in your pockets and show love to Nasi Moshe Halevi. Go on Cash App and show that young brother some love. He is inspirational, he is steadfast, and he is really about this way of life. And if we can help a person at his age to do this, then we know that everything that the Creator wills will be fulfilled, because the redemption in part also takes our participation. We got to help raise these young, powerful minds among us. Our sister Lyrical Dream says, I've been saying this for years. The chanting, the singing wakes up the DNA. I couldn't agree with you more, our beloved sister. On that note, everyone, I'm going to say shalom. We're going to sign out. This has been your brother, Rob Zion, here at Zion Lex TV. Some of you know me as Zion Lex. Thank you all for your support. Thank you all for your love. When we go to war, and that's inevitable, the Torah speaks of an end-time war. When we go to war, I heard somewhere that we're going to send Judah first. Peace.
Send Judah first. Send Judah first. We going out. Out. Send Judah first. Send Judah first. We going out. Out.
Preset, if you scared, then go home. And no, we ain't saying it twice. Cause once you get into this war zone, it's either your life or their life. And we ain't about losing before an intrusion. We gotta make sure we right. So we send praise and seek his face. Then we load up it is on site. What you thought it was, it's not. Don't wanna see us on your block. Yelling hallelujah, trying to tell y'all that victory is sure shot. We serve y'all eye by oath. And in this army of hosts, yeah, Yahoo the lead. True indeed, in his name we both don't.
Send Judah first. Send Judah first. We going out. Out. Send Judah first. Send Judah first. We going out. Torch fire, flags in the street. Sing louder, kick up the beat. All them enemy feet get delete when we play in the street. Judah drop them me. Who got the praise for days? Who are the what came face? Made for praise, spit prophecy. We be that anointed royalty. I said we came. Hey. The bar Hamayim number 2, that's on replay. Yeah, we gon' bust them walls, mash up and be on our way. Yeah, to the nations we proclaim his Kudash name. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, Yah, Yah. Send Judah first. Send Judah first, we going out. Out. Send Judah first.
You said.
Send Judah first, we going out. Out.
From Simbi. Yeah. Mention ain't my comb, mention ain't my sound. Yeah. Hey, catch me on Yafo eating waffles that I got from Coffee Bean with a tall glass of orange juice while I'm waiting on this scene. Gotta hit the studio, gotta say a bracha krona before I leave. Baruch Ata Hashem, Elokeinu Nu Melech Haolam. Borei Nefesh Shot Rabo Veshronan HaKol. Meshber Talacha Yot Beckham Nefesh Kol Hai Baruch Hai Ha'olamim. Shout out to Hashem, I'm living my dreams. City of gold is the land of kings. Family in Ashdod and Modin. Spend Shabbats in Renana, even in Tel Aviv. But ain't nothing like walking down them Yerushalmi streets. From the Kotel to Nachlaot, from Rahavia to Baka, from Talpio to Katamon, all the way to Maladao. Mention ain't my code, mention ain't my trial. Yehiratzo milfanecha. Mention ain't my code, mention ain't my trial. Yehiratzo milfanecha. I need po. I need Yerushalayim. I need po. I need Yerushalayim. Tearing down idols and we cutting down poles. We calling back Israel to the hell we know. Throwing out crystals, we don't need these stones. And we ain't no God, that's a job for y'all. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High, Yahuwah. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Yah Israel. Tearing down idols, we cutting down poles. We calling back Israel to the hell we know. We throwing out crystals, yeah. We don't need these stones. We ain't no God, that's a job for Yah. down poles. We're calling back Israel to the L we know. We throwing out crystals. We don't need these stones. And we ain't no gods. That's a job for y'all. Everybody help me say all praise. All praise to the Most. I can't hear you say. All praise to the Most. Oh, all praise to the Most. Hey, hey, all praise. All praise to the God of Israel. My mitzvah's gonna live forever. Shout out little mama 'cause she makes me better. Play the race card and use that as an excuse for the hate card. Funny thing is most people got the same scars, but they keep us so divided it breaks my heart. They just wanna play the race card and use that as an excuse for the hate card. Funny thing is most people got the same scars and they keep us so divided it breaks my heart. Blackjack, Bancolay, I'm on face cards. Full speed ahead like a race car. Lot of weaknesses, but I know what my strengths are. So until the day I die, I'ma play my part. Man, I feel like Noah up in Noah's Ark. Bring two of every kind, we'll let the world restart. Flooding rains, but I'm posted in the cover. Hashem got me covered and it's sweeter than Mufleta. King with a dream like the husband of Coretta. Crawl, walk, run, I be posted with the steppers. Meet the veggies, they're salty, 'cause I chef with pepper. Bolognese, Bancolay, we stacking that bruschetta. One day I'ma die, but my mitzvah gon' live forever. World been divided, I'll stitch it back together. When push comes to shove, all we really got is love. Sweater's Torah lifestyle fit me like a glove. Born Zachariah, but I wasn't raised religious. I was raised as a non-denominational Christian. Wanted to draw closer to God, but something kept me distant. Knowing race justifies slavery through weaponized religion. Truth be told, man was flawed from the beginning. Adam was the first man, a few hours later he was sinning. Cain had a brother named Hevel, but he killed him. We started off with Noah, but Ham caught him slipping. From there was a curse passed on to his seed. But Abraham's mother's a descendant from that side of the tree. And Terach, well, he descended from Shem. And we call him Father Abraham, 'cause we all descended from him. Hey! They just wanna play the race card and use that as an excuse for the hate card. Funny thing is most people got the same scars, but they keep us so divided it breaks my heart. They just wanna play the race card and use that as an excuse for the hate card. Funny thing is most people got the same scars and they keep us so divided it breaks my heart. Abraham Avinu, he had two sons. Ishmael was his oldest. Isaac was his youngest one. Ishmael's mother wasn't Abraham's wife. So when Sarah birthed Isaac, Ishmael had to slide. Ishmael is considered the father of Islam, and Isaac is the father of those who went through the pogroms, who foes tried to exterminate but always failed. Also known in the Bible as B'nai Israel. Back to Isaac, he had two sons, Jacob and Esau. Esau was the firstborn. His blessing was official, but he sold his birthright to Jacob for a bowl of lentils. Now Jacob went and married Leah and Rachel, and Esau went and married the daughter of Ishmael. Now Esau's descendants is the Roman Empire we know. They've been out crusading in the name of the Pope. Many folks went through slavery, we know that ain't right, but the atrocities that was faced during biblical times is similar to the atrocities of the transatlantic slave trade. The difference being, biblical people at least knew from whence they came. The transatlantic slavery descendants was wiped out of all memories. Thus how can one be freed with no identity? Still the Bible foretold of a people being scattered amongst the nations and then sold as chattel. Israel is missing 10 of its 12 tribes, and the trenches, they don't know their identity right. Perhaps coincidence, what do I know? I had to get this off my chest, but one more thing before I go. Don't hate on one who does, to favor one who doesn't. Destroy lifestyles for participation. Get it if you want it. Don't hate on one who does, to favor one who doesn't. Destroy lifestyles for participation. Get it if you want it, man. Hey, listen. It ain't about being comfortable, man. At the end of the day, when you show up for your paycheck, you gotta see the boss, man. If the boss tell you didn't do what he told you to do, you ain't getting paid, man. We don't fancy volunteers around here, man. It's to the chippers with the dippers, man. They just wanna play the race card and use that as an excuse for the hate card.